I am healed. I am intuitive. I am intelligent. I am the I am. I am wealthy. I am free. I am freedom. I am space. I am strength. I am love. I'm a motivator. I am the greatest. I am beautiful. I am grace. I am queen. I am generous. I am powerful. I am loved. I am deserving. I am culture. I am original.
Hey y'all, it's me, Wanda D, the motivational queen, your accountability coach, helping you get it done. What is it that you need to get done? I can help you get on the media and make more money. Get that exposure you're looking for. So come see me. Check me out all social media under Wanda D Hollis, yes, my government name. And you can also follow my website at IamEnough365.com. That's me, Wanda D, the motivational queen, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Wanda! Doggone it. I saw a name that came up on Instagram. On the Kim. Is that you? Kim. Is that you, Kim? Okay. So welcome. This is the Wanda D Hollis show. And as you see, somebody broke into the studio. So tonight we're going to have two nurses in the building. Nurse D, and we got Nurse V. And we got DJ Grady Baby. And you know me, I'm Wanda D, the motivational queen, helping you get her done. What is it that you need to get done? Right now, I need you to do me a favor. You know what I need him to do?
What's that?
Whose phone is that? Oh, phone in my pocket. Okay, so I need y'all to like, invite, and share. This you, Kim! Okay, so I just lit up and she said, yes, hey friend, yes, and yes. So my good friend is watching, haven't seen her since it's been 2 years, last year. I love you too, darling. Yes. I tell you, I just love it. Love it. You know, you can't hold back emotions when people show up, right?
Exactly.
So this is Demetria. Some of you may know her. She's one of our co-authors of our amazing book, Wake Up Winning.
No matter what.
There you go. What you doing here tonight?
Me.
Snaps. So we were hanging out with our 1044 Pro family, right?
Yes.
And I said, well, Queen, you might as well just come on into the party for the nighttime, because you know the nighttime is the right time. Day one, MLK, not MLK, Black History Month celebration.
Yes.
So we've been working all day. Y'all probably want to know why I got this hat on, because I was cold and I don't have a lot of hair. So let me get the family on in here. They probably saying, Wanda, what are you talking about? I'm just trying to look at these. Look, DJ, you ready? You got some music for me? I want you to come in hot. Don't be shaking your head. I want you to come in hot. I'm going to give you a minute, DJ. I'm going to give you a minute. I'm bringing Nurse V on because she always ready. That's my cousin. What's up, cousin?
Hey, what's going on?
You.
Of course.
I remember I told you about Demetria?
Yes.
And I wanted her to meet you?
Yes. Hi, Demetria.
Hey.
Put a name to the face.
Yes. Put a name to the face. She's amazing.
Or a face to the name.
Right. Well, I'm waiting for DJ to give me the thumbs up. So, Nurse V, what's happening? What up, though?
Where you want me to start, cousin?
You know what? Introduce yourself. That's what we'll do.
Okay, so I'm Nurse V. My name speaks for itself. I am a nurse. I've been a nurse a little over 11 years now, I think, which has in turn led me on a sort of say natural holistic path because I started observing things in the healthcare industry that I just totally disagree with. And so I started doing my own research and learning new things and doing things my way. So here I am.
Sinatra.
Pardon?
You like Frank Sinatra.
That's right. I did it my way, and I still do. They about to kick me out the healthcare industry.
They're about to kick you out. But your story sounds similar to Nurse D's story.
I know.
So I don't know if I'm going back to work.
I know, right?
So that's why I said y'all need to get together and formulate this master plan and work simultaneously.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Because I feel you on so many levels when it comes to like natural and also just, you know, being good to people. You're supposed to be a service. You're supposed to make sure that people get the optimal care.
Exactly. Exactly.
And how long have you been in nursing?
I've been in nursing for over 20 years.
Yeah, so you really know. Look, if it ain't about the money.
Right. And some people, I mean, you know, it is what it is. I know people got to pay bills, but it's a special field.
Yeah.
You know, some things are special.
Exactly.
And when it comes to, you know, making sure that you're, you know, in alignment with service and doing what you're supposed to be doing to look out for people and to help people live. And let's get real. We're Black women sitting on screen right now, and we have a lot of issues that are killing us.
Yes, definitely.
And it shouldn't be that way. We got too much technology, advancements, and all of that for this kind of stuff to be happening.
Yeah. And they don't take us serious. Like I noticed, like when I'm in GYN, OBGYN now, right? And so I noticed even before getting into OBGYN, like a Black woman come in complaining, they just like brush it under the table. Like it's nothing. Like you don't know what you're talking about, you know? And she's sick. You want to label her, call her drug seeker and such, you know. And then here comes Becky, and
with the so-called good hair.
Exactly, and they gonna do everything they can.
Make it hot. Don't let us start talking.
DJ, you ready? Well, you know, this is that show. You know, this is that show I was telling people earlier. Like, this ain't the inspirational show.
No.
This a little bit in your face
for you.
Kind of, you know, they might be dropping some bombs here. We might be getting censored. They even kicked us off. I know last week we was trying to. I couldn't even get a word in edgewise because they just kept pushing me out the system. You mentioned the wrong word. We definitely gonna fall under the radar. So we try to keep just. We try to keep the show going.
Right.
But we walk a thin line. I gotta say, I think my DJ ready. He ready to come in hot. He ready to come in.
Ready.
Hey.
I had to come with a Godfather Soul. Slide up in here for Black History Month. Hey. What's going on, y'all?
Look at Detroit over here.
One of the hottest samples in hip hop. Funky drummer Clyde Stubblefield.
Right.
I love that. He was mad as hell at James Brown when he did that. James Brown had just finished cursing him out. Give me something funky. So he called himself doing that.
Well, that's a moment in Black history.
Yeah.
Moment in Black history. Well, that's what we're talking about. We celebrate first day, February 1.
Got that Cheeto hat on your head. You got that out of a Cheeto bag. I like that hat. You got some snacks? I see you got some behind.
You know what? I do, Grady, just for you.
Okay. Oh, I got something to show you. Oh, can you hand that to me through the camera? Can you reach to the camera?
I know, right? Look,
Okay, thank you, Wanda. I got it.
Don't play with us. Don't play with us. Be serious about our 1044 Pro.
Oh, yeah.
1044 Pro. And those of you that want to know, just hit us up. We'll let you know all about it. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for Lotus Richey in the house, Washington. Oh, I can't even get my words out. Washington, D.C. checking in. Kimberly, where are you, darling? If you're still out there, I don't know where Kimberly is. The last time I talked to her, she was in Mississippi buying up all the real estate she can get her little hands on. So I don't know if she's still in Mississippi or not. But we'll see what's going on there.
Yeah.
So, Dimitri, did you introduce yourself the right way? Because I know
the intruders should always introduce themselves.
Let me move on out the way. Let me.
You know she intrude, right? She just in your house.
Give it to him.
And a few people know me, a few don't, but I am Demetria Winters. I'm an Army vet, a nurse, also an author, an entrepreneur, and more importantly, at least to me, a mental health advocate.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We have a lot in common.
I told you, cousin.
And that mother baby. So when you said OBGYN, see, I don't know what we're supposed to be talking about tonight, but the fact that Black women are dying with high percentages. And since we talk about Black History Month, I don't know if we're going to talk about it today, but we got to talk about it eventually.
Yeah.
Well, you talk about the mortality rate of children being born and
no, the mortality rate of the mothers.
Okay.
We do have a high mortality rate amongst the Black babies, but we also have a high mortality, high disparity rate amongst the mothers.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you for sharing, Kimberly. Thank you so much for that. Yes, we got Shani D in the house. Why Care 20 in the building. She said, "Hey, Queens, what up, though?" We got Lotus Richey in the building. Yes. Hello. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is the Wanda D. Hollis Show on Grady Baby Radio. And we are just we're going to be talking about a couple things. We're going to be talking about, for one thing, it's Black History Month, right?
Yes.
So I get really emotional when it comes to dealing with us and our people and our gifts and how I celebrate Black history every day, you know, but I wanted to just make this month something special. So what I'm doing is every day at noon, I'm going live with people, individuals, and we're going to chop it up and figure out like how we're winning, how we're helping other people win, giving our Black History facts. Thank you for that. You dropped the Black History facts earlier in Facebook. And because we're sometimes we get so connected from our roots and we forget our magic that we have. So I want use this to be like an opportunity that we can remind each other of how great we are. So I'm kind of glad I'm looking for our other knowledge to show up. But the fact I have you two on here that are both very entrenched in the nursing health, community, and yet, you see all of the flaws, and it gets like Bettina Lewis. She was also a physician practitioner, and she got out of the business for the same reason. Yeah. It's like you go to school, you get the knowledge, the education, and then you figure out that you're not able to do the things that you set out and wanted to do, going to school to get the certifications, and then you realize, hey, I can't do the things that I want to do. Have you, either of you, experienced that, or what you want to kind of briefly talk about that?
Well, for me, I truly believe, because of my family history and because of who I am, that a field like nursing speaks to just my personality. And yes, it can be a kind of lucrative field to be able to pay your bills and this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, you have people's lives in your hand. And so that's so important for you to do the right thing, so that, you can really take decent care of people. Because if you can take yourself, from within your own head and imagine being in that person's position, then that's going to change your whole outlook of how you deal with and take care of people. So that does affect me. I've resigned or left places because I can't co-sign on some of this stuff. I cannot. That's just not in my character. And you do the best you can with what you have, but then after a while, you got to say, you know what, I'm done.
Yeah. What about you, Nurse V?
Similar to what Nurse D stated, I am a very compassionate and empathetic person by nature. And a lot of people do go into the field because it's lucrative, it's money to be made, but they don't have the heart of a nurse, right? So once I started practicing, and like I said, and because I started out in doing geriatric care or whatever, and then I got so disgusted because they was giving like 70 and 80-year-olds 7, 8, 9, 10 pills twice a day. Why are you giving these people, elderly people, all this medication, tearing their liver up? And then you want to diagnose them with dementia or Alzheimer's when they're confused because you're giving them all this different drugs, right? So I used to get into it with doctors all the time. And I used to love when some of them would refuse to take their medication. I'm like, yeah, you ain't got to take it. I wouldn't even encourage them to take it. And like if they miss a couple of doses, I noticed that they act more coherent with not taking the drugs, right? And so then I began to realize, oh, it's like it's a big money factor here, and that turned me off. But I love the idea of serving and helping people become well. That's just who I am.
Yeah, that's great. So talking about Black History Month, and do anybody, and I'm gonna start with you, Grady, what has been like the biggest significance of this month to you? I know you grow by you, Grady. You know what, y'all gotta hear Grady's intro. Grady, introduce yourself, Grady. My bad.
I was born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia, born at Grady Hospital. I lived across from Grady Homes, and I attended Grady High School. So, and I lived all over Atlanta, the Auburn Avenue area, the Prior Street area, the Campbellton Road area. So I lived all across Atlanta. And Black history, and I know people travel from all across the country to come to the King Memorial Center. The world to visit the Memorial Center. To me, it's like going to the grocery store because it was in my neighborhood. So I saw it all the time. My grandmother lived next door to Coretta Scott King over there by the Morris Brown area. That's where they moved to. Was that Hank Aaron, rest in peace. Hank Aaron and Julian Bunn, all of them. There was neighbors. So I grew up around the Black history. This is every day was Black history for me.
This is good history. And you know what the fascinating part about it, Grady, is because from your perspective, and then your name is Grady. Grady from Grady Home,
Yes.
Grady High School,
High school, yes.
Grady Baby, so
Mm-hmm.
what are some of the changes that you see in the culture in terms of like back then? I'm sure there was like this sense of pride. Do you see that that's shifted or changed, or what would be your what's your
We
thoughts on
had
that?
a sense of pride in that area, in that historical area of the King Memorial Center up to 1991 or 92, when they started to change more so from the King family to the national park. Then I used to be a volunteer coach and a mentor at the Martin Luther King Youth Center that was off of Auburn Avenue, I think it's 730 Auburn Avenue. And they tore the gym down to build the big church there. And then they started, to bus out the kids that live in the inner city to other gymnasiums, like way on the other end to their rivals on the other end of Bedford Pine. And there's a lot of changes there, probably gentrification, moving in a lot of business, closing our mom and pop stores because we had the black-owned dry cleaners, the beautiful restaurants, and they only had one Asian store. It was a grocery store right there on the corner in that little plaza there. But I just seen a lot of changes. The regentrification now, since I moved back to Atlanta now 2 years, I've been gone from Atlanta for about 10 years. Moved back 2 years ago, and I hardly recognize the city. Places where we're very urbanish. I want to say where you see crackheads walking. Now I see our Caucasian counterparts walking with strollers. I was driving going to a birthday party. I said, why the hell are they over here? They don't know where they at, but they redid the neighborhood. So I feel like I'm a visitor in my own city now.
Wow.
They're just strolling down the street. I seen a little white lady with a stroller and a baby, and now just walking past a crack house. I was like, she don't know where she at. It used to be a crack house.
They closed the crack house down, Grady.
Yeah, they done moved everybody out of there. Now everybody, I drove down what used to be Highway 85, Riverdale. All the folks I saw in the projects around Grady Homes, they down in Riverdale and Clayton County. Put y'all out here.
They made a major shift.
Yeah, said it again.
They made a major shift.
Oh wow! I mean, the places I thought was safe, not even safe anymore. And to be honest, I'm gonna be really transparent and honest with everybody. When I go down Auburn Avenue, I see all the white people down there, I get nervous.
What's up, brother?
What's up, brother Knowledge?
What's going on, DJ Grady? Baby, we got V in the building. Who is that with you?
Yeah.
Dimitri.
It's on the tip of my tongue. Nerves. All right, I forgot.
Yeah.
Rhymes with Nurse V. It rhymes with Nurse V.
Nurse, no, you Nurse V. I'm talking about the other nurse with Wanda.
I said it rhymes with Nurse V.
That rhymes with Nurse V. I'm like, Grady, I'm about to say something crazy. Don't worry about it.
Hold on. Watch my head.
DJ?
No, Nurse. What's the letter right there?
D?
Yeah.
Yes.
But don't mess around. Don't put VD now. Say Nurse D now. Don't say that.
I'm gonna chuck up some ice, man. What is wrong with you? I had ice in my mouth.
You know what? I cannot. So, you acknowledge why are you late for tardy for the party? You pay $50. You cash at me $50 for being late.
Dang, okay.
All right.
I'm glad I came on 15 minutes. Hold on, Wanda, you owe me some money then, because I beat you.
You cannot slow on my come up, okay? That's what you won't do. You won't do that on my show, Grady. I know your name is somewhere in the credits, but you won't do that, Grady. I will kick you off, okay? So now introduce yourself.
What I do myself?
Introduce yourself.
Introduce yourself.
All right. For those who don't know, my name is Knowledge. It stands for Wisdom, Knowledge, and Understanding. That's 120 degrees of wisdom, 120 degrees of knowledge, 120 degrees of overstanding. I say overstand because understand is a law word. It means to stand under someone else's law. So, as you see on my screen, it says knowledge born 7. That means when you recreate yourself in like 48 laws of power with knowledge, that you are reborn of the 7. Seven just means completion. It could also mean divine number.
Absolutely. So we're glad that you showed up. We were talking about like what does Black history mean? Like the energy of it. And Grady was sharing with us how he's changed. What happened? We didn't lost one? Okay. So he was just sharing with us how everything has changed in the community from being especially with him being a native of Atlanta and Atlanta being such a strong foothold for the civil rights movement and the and him his was it your grandmother lived next door to the Kings? Yeah. So yeah. I can just imagine like the impact, and he was just saying how, what was it in the 80s? It kind of things started shifting, changing.
89 between like the span was 89 and 93. They started to pass laws and stuff to close down certain parks and recreations and to build more churches in certain areas and stuff like that. And the kids have nowhere to go because back then they had rec centers where kids can go do their homework and stuff like that. So they shut all that stuff down, and then the kids had nowhere to go. So that spiked up the crime. Kids. Yeah. They had nowhere to channel.
It's always an agenda.
Yeah.
They'll call it something else. Well, let's welcome. We got how you pronounce that? Simone in the building. Is watching. Miss Mays, what's up? High school. Man, I got to, when you say high school and you think about how old you are, that's just like too many years. What's up? Reginald, what's going on? So thanks everybody for tuning in tonight. So I want to find out from Nurse B, now being that you were a part of the Motown experience, the revolution that took place, what do you see as a factor in Black history? How do you recognize the shift or the pride? I'm trying to get to the sense of pride. Is it still there, or is it lacking, or what?
It's lacking. You mean as far as with music?
No, just the space, because Detroit, it was a powerful place in history at one time.
It was for several reasons, but in my opinion, it's lacking for whatever reasons, but it's definitely lacking. Black pride. I don't know when or where or how, but it's definitely lacking.
Wow. I remember. Go ahead.
It's definitely been a big shift. Because I was just telling me and my mom was reminiscing, like, in the neighborhood that I grew up in, my earlier childhoods. I remember there were like black businesses on every corner, and they all took pride in their businesses, and the customer service was excellent. And right. And even with your granddad, with his gas station or whatever. But now it's just like, I don't know. People they have businesses and the customer service be lousy, and they just there.
It's unbelievable in some places, and that's another thing. We'll get into that in a minute. But I just want to know from your perspective, do you realize, or do you remember when the shift changed and what happened? Do you remember at this point?
I think like right at the beginning, maybe, of the crack era.
Yeah.
Right around that time.
That's the same thing Grady said. So that because I know it's a correlation here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say like around 80, 81, when I remember like a shift change. Yeah. Cause it was like you had all these little black owned mom and pop stores, and all of a sudden you go in the store, they gone, and then the Arabics are there. Same with the gas stations.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah.
Can I say something, Wanda, real quick? Yeah, the mom and pop stores, and I just posted on somebody comment on a historical store called Little Bruh in the Fourth Ward area by Atlanta. It's well started now. It was Atlanta Medical. It's that changed from Georgia Baptist. It was a store called Little Bruh where they film the movie Ride Along next to. That particular store, we used to let us get groceries on credit. So when Dad would get paid on Friday, we'd just go pay him back. It was a black-owned store. They don't do that nowadays. You can't go to the store and say, "Hey, can my mom get some bread and some eggs or something?" And Dad will pay you back on Friday. They don't do that nowadays. You just have to go.
No, they don't even. I kind of like. I have a. You almost have to choose between big box stores or the other stores, but neither one really supports you in your community. That's what I experienced. Right. So I remember I had an experience. I was doing some fundraising for a nonprofit that I was working with, and I would always go to this particular Jamaican restaurant, and so we were selling these coupons for people to shop for I think Macy's, because at Macy's you can get the coupons for your nonprofit, and then you just kind of can sell them to make the money. Well, I had deal business with these people for years and years. So I go in there to do the coupons to ask them if they wanted to, support me and contribute to the coupons. At that point, they instantly became unable to speak English. Unable to speak English, and these people I had was jerk chicken and plantains and spending my cash, and they could talk and ha ha he he. The moment I asked for something, they went totally dark with me, and that was my wake up call to even participating in that. And that was it wasn't a Korean establishment. That was black owned or island owned.
Yeah. So and when you mentioned Motown, back then music, the language was they sang about love and unity, and that's not what the message is anymore. It's division.
Yep.
It's destructive.
Absolutely. Yeah. People are so wrapped up into the money they can make when it comes to it. And to tell you the truth, the power has been taken away because people gave up their power when it came to, I'm not putting that out. I want to say this or I want to say that. And it's like, the further along we got in time, people were all about making the money, but they don't think about the consequences of putting certain things in kids' heads. Like we're not in jail, but we're in prison. When your mind is food, when you bamboozled and all that, and you follow along with all this stuff that leads you down a rabbit hole, something's wrong with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree. So Knowledge, what has been your I know you could share some things with us in terms of the shift or your community, and then certain things that maybe stood out that you did and could really appreciate back in the day that you just don't have those comforts anymore.
Yeah, like you said, the grocery store credit. I remember doing that with one grocery store back home. They were really cool, and I hate to see them. They was losing the store. And actually, come to find out, that was the first time I learned of a buyout because a foreigner bought him out. And he had stipulations like you would treat the community good, and he had families like my last name Green. He like the Green family, the Wilsons. He had a list of families. He said you can give these people credit no matter what, they will pay you. He did not pay. I mean, he did not do the credit.
He did not honor it.
No, he did not honor it, and the guy hated that he sold it, and he also had a car lot. He sold the car lot as a package with it all. And he eventually he moved from Illinois to Florida or whatever. Cause I think that's where his wife people was at, and he wanted to be closer. Cause he's always traveling back and forth to Florida. But yeah, he didn't honor it or anything like that. It got worse. Then one thing I did not like about him, the Arab guy that bought the building, the guy that had the grocery store before, he was very strict. He used to tell guy, man, pull your pants up, chill out. No, don't do that up here, stuff like that. This was during the time where we went from people being honorable to people being kind of like a little bit dishonest and disrespectful towards our elders in the community. That's why I always had such a hard stance on taking up for the women, and I kind of learned that from Chicago too as well. We took care of our women. That was just one thing we did. We didn't let nobody talk to our mothers, our sisters, aunties, or nothing like that. Long story short, the guy was allowing people up there to sell drugs, so it became very bad, and eventually he shut down. But he ended up selling it to his cousin for $1. So when he sold it to his cousin for $1, that's when I started learning a lot of stuff about business and stuff like that. His cousin did not have to pay taxes for another 5 to 7 years. And
Mhm.
he was allowed to get grant money in our particular city. And during that time, it was some black businesses trying to open up. And they was just trying to open up a Goodwill or something like that before Goodwill actually got big. And they were denied several times. And then I learned about the washing hands. You want something, you got to give a little bread. So it was a shift.
You was learning a lot of lessons.
Yeah, I was on it. Then I came up, in the hip hop era. Shout out to Professor Griff. He gave me the stance on this. Hip hop stood for higher infinite power, healing our people. The first guys who came out with hip hop, they were speaking about the government. They talking about like KRS-One was speaking about, like I told you guys before, he was speaking about not eating pork, not eating chicken. Definitely talking about the government and stuff like that. And that's what hip hop is. And I give people the 5 elements of hip hop, which was DJing, MCing, graffiti, uh, breaking, and the fifth element of hip hop was knowledge, because you have to have knowledge in order to survive. And like Nurse D said, they were selling out. When the Jews got involved, they started selling out, and the shift that was the last big shift, and it shifted. Well, that's not the last big shift, because they shifted from that to the disrespect of women and elders and stuff like that to the feminine shift. But that particular shift in my area was the disrespecting of the women, the elders. Queen Latifah put a song out, "Who You Calling a B?" because it was just known for that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And I had, during, lo and behold, I grew up. I have a daughter, and I wasn't the type of guy to call women bees or nothing like that or whatever. But my daughter, she was going to Kennesaw State, and she said, "Dad, the guys don't talk to me." I said, "The guy don't try to talk to you. And, like, hey, baby, how you doing? Court you, whatever like that." She said, "No, they'll try to be nice to you. If you don't talk to them, they'll be like, I don't want your number no way, B." I say, "What?" I say, "Man, I'm coming up there tomorrow." So she's like, "No, no, Dad, don't come up there. I have." I said, "I'm coming up there. I'm finna shake the camera. I'm finna have a revolution right here." I said, "Who called you a B?" And she would never tell me that. But it's been several shifts. And listening to Nurse V, I did catch some of that era from the Midwest, because some of my people were from South Side Chicago, and my mom's she grew up in Detroit, Flint, Michigan. She grew up some of the roughest places ever. But one thing I cannot forget, when I turned 40, I started remembering these old songs. I started wanting to play Frankie Beverly and Mays, all these old songs I started remembering. And it's
Mhm.
just funny because I was around it when I was younger, all the
Right.
time, all the time. But yeah, the disrespect for the women, our elders and stuff like that, it's ridiculous. It's even shifted to the conscious community. young brothers coming up into knowledge, and they be like, "Oh, y'all worshiping dead gods." I mean, it's just getting out of hand, you know. And but I noticed the real big shift during the late '80s, '90s. That's when I noticed.
Was
Yeah.
that also the crack
Yeah,
epidemic?
yeah, they
Yeah.
was
It
the
was
crack because
everybody. Yeah.
one thing they did, they took angel dust out the hood because black men was hitting that angel dust, and they kept saying they see God. They took angel dust off the hood quick because it was opening up the spiritual side to a black man, the chakras. And a lot
Chakra,
of
yeah.
them guys
Mhm.
who hit angel dust, they end up being beautiful. And I'm saying this, I ain't no sugar, no sweet boy, nothing. But them men was beautiful musicians. They began to be very articulate. They had a different perspective of life and spirituality. And some of them people was from Detroit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, because
Yeah.
that was the music capital.
Yeah.
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 From
Yeah.
jazz. I did not know until recently that Baker's, Baker's Jazz is
Yeah.
the oldest
Yes.
jazz place in the country. I didn't know that. I thought it was like
Mm.
coming from New
It's the
York.
Detroit thing. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
Yeah. People
Baker.
from all over came there to used to come there to perform.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to Baker's. And it's the Baker's Keyboard Lounge.
Yeah.
Famous place
Mm.
around the country that people
Yes.
they say it's the
Wow.
oldest jazz
I didn't know
spot.
it was the oldest either. I
Yes,
didn't
I
know.
just read that recently, and I found it very, very fascinating because, like I said, I didn't know that that part of history that was made, but I did understand the music so much so to where I used to date this guy, and like I was a part of the real band scene, like all like the percussionists, like the real music, and they would have these. This is when, remember when the old, what was that they rebuilt? Cause down there where we went when I was in town, they redid it. Eastern Market District.
Yeah.
Remember the original Eastern Market District? They would
Yeah.
have jam sessions in there.
Over there at Burt's. Are you talking about at Burt's, maybe?
Place, right, and then other little spots was in there to where that was like where the musicians used to hang out after they played their sets, and they would jam till like 6 o'clock in the morning because when you coming off of that high, that music high, the unwinding was just get on there, just like just do some. That was just such a beautiful experience to be a part of that, and so that was like a rich part of my upbringing, being always dated older men. So I was always doing older stuff.
You go.
I want to say this. When my moms and her friends used to go out like for New Year's Eve and stuff like that, they would be gone all night long. And when they come home,
Yeah.
they would have one, a lot of pictures. Two, they would be talking about when they went out for like 3 days in a row, just them going out, enjoying music, coming home. That's like dinner. They'll probably go out Friday, Saturday. So you're looking at breakfast the next day, a big dinner that night, and then they might come over, have a car party, and then lo and behold, somebody come into town, driving into town, always from somewhere. It was just so much love. That's the
Yeah.
first time I ever experienced love, and the men were respectful. The
Peace and
guys would
harmony.
go outside and drink or whatever. Sometimes we had family gatherings and stuff or whatever, but it was no disrespect. You know what I'm saying? I remember one time my uncle was like, one of his friends was looking at one of our cousins. He's like, "Hey man, you talk to her, you got to get your stuff together. You got to get you another car." He was just on him, and the guy, that's how it was. The do the right thing was like the ultimate, and that's
Looks like do the right thing.
that's some of the era I came up in. Like you get up, pray, you take care of the kids, man.
Yeah.
It was just a beautiful thing. We don't
Yeah.
have that at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember my Aunt Jessie, Aunt Lucy house. There was Card Central. They come over there. The kid, their Aunt Jessie, Aunt Lucy house was like next door to each other. So we'll go to the house where the kids was, and they'd be over at Jesse's house, and then as it get late, they all migrate to the other house, and we had to stay in the room with our cousins and stuff. And if we come out the room, watch them play cards, y'all get out of grown folks now, go in that room. You know, you don't hear that no more. The parents just welcome them kids all in the grown folks conversation because the kids remember what they see. You know.
That's right. Yes, that's right. And you know what? It's amazing. You know, you're talking about, and I didn't know that this was going to be, you know, this conversation was going to take us there, but because we have just very organic conversations, we never know what kind of turns we make. But talk about music and just the impact of music has really, really shaped our history in such a dynamic way. I can't even imagine. Where I lived, and right before I grew up on right over there in the district of Aretha Franklin's dad's church was on the corner of Vicksburg in Lawton, Wildermere area, and 20 Grand was another iconic spot that your entertainers went to. Like, this is where your Supremes and your Dramatics hung out at the 20 Grand to like perform. So you saw, I didn't because I was very young, but that building was still there coming up, and we still had those corner stores, the candy store. Like, one store would be the best store to go to get the chips, and then the other store would be the best store to go to get the candy. Like, they were all, the pickles and the slices of meat and cheese and stuff. But that music was such a part of our culture, and now it seems like we just don't have that element anymore. Does anybody else feel like that besides me?
Yeah, but did y'all notice though, like when it comes to music, there are a lot of people that's not even a part of the culture that are the leaders when it comes to what's getting put out there. Like, say, the people banking stuff is not a lot. There are a lot of, you know, people of other races that's affecting the music that comes out in our culture. Like, we gotta back, you know, for, you know, like, say for instance, if you look at film. And, you know, Black people are like, oh, we're not in film. Well, we got to make our own, period. Like, I don't even want to go and ask anybody that don't understand where I'm coming from, banking what I'm doing. Because I'm sensitive about my culture.
Yeah.
This is about your stuff, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah. You guys too, back in the Motown days.
On that one. Yeah, go ahead, Grady. What you say?
I would say back in the Motown days, and maybe prior to that, those days, the mafia ran the music business. So as things change from the, you know, probably 70s and early 80s, everybody started branching off and getting their own, and the mafia, I guess they kind of stepped back, and I guess they handed over to whoever, because the Italians ran the music industry, so now the Jewish people run it now. So. Now we're at a point now where we're pretty much knowledgeable about the industry. A lot of the artists end up becoming presidents of labels and stuff, and finding out all kind of secrets and stuff. So now they're leaving. Let's say like when Jay-Z was the artist on Rockefeller, when he became president of Def Jam, he ended up learning the system, and he bought his own contract out and started his own Rock Nation. And he separated. Then when Rick Ross became president of Def Jam, he left Def Jam and got MMG. You know, so a lot of guys are getting their opportunity in that seat and being at those tables and those meetings and understanding contracts, understanding percentages and stuff like that. And so, you know what? I'm paying you this. Let me get my own. I'm gonna buy my contract. So they figure out how to do that. So it's all about having the opportunity, being present and being aware of what it is. Because a lot of artists just really focus on being artists. They're not really focused on the business.
Right. And that's why I think, you know, and it's kind of set up like that by design, because it's like, if it's kind of like the sports industry is another perfect example. You have 90% of the athletes are African American, but they don't own it. They just still working on the plantation.
Yeah.
You know, so it's sad that you can have that kind of power, because if we don't play the game won't get played.
And you know what?
So they just honor their buck. What you say?
And you know what's so bad is you got a lot of black athletes making big money. They making way more than Bill Russell used to make. Michael Jordan back in the day, they got long, big contracts. Ain't nobody unified. Everybody talk about social justice and all of that. Only thing they use in their platform is to speak sometime. No one is really taking initiative to put money back into the community. I'm gonna tell you something.
No more Muhammad Ali's.
No more of that. I'm gonna tell you why. Because Professor Griff said it good one time. He said, when you're in that $20-30 million club, you have handlers. They tell you, no, you can't do that. No, you can do this. You know, and I understand people talk about LeBron James and the school he opened. That's cool. That's, you know what I'm saying? But I'm in commerce, I know commerce. So really, he opened up another public school for the corporation of the United States of America to dumb down the kids who are not teaching real economics, who are not teaching real social studies, who's not teaching real science or real history. So that building you built is just a building. That's it. And you go visit 2 or 3 times a year. Yeah, tax write-off. Give out some basketball, sign some jerseys. Nah, that's foolishness.
That's not, that doesn't really put value into, you know, like what you're saying, into what the kids are learning, and then what does that do for them for the future? Because what you instill in them should hopefully help them make better decisions and want to be entrepreneurs and want to learn about their history and their culture and all of that. Because there's value in work, like you said, in that.
But you notice they push the athletes out there. So it's showing, to me, this is just me thinking. It shows the kids that, man, if I can play ball, I can open up middle school, or if I can be a rapper, I can do this. So, you know, they never throw out our black inventors at us and put us in front of us. They always put the athletes and the entertainers in front of us. I don't know why, but it's a strategy that's been working throughout times. When they assassinate Dr. King, who they push out there in front of us? James Brown. You know what I'm saying? You got to tear the thing up.
Yeah, my love for Muhammad Ali is so great, because he just went against the grain. Like, he didn't care. Like, he didn't care. He didn't care about the money. He just wanted to do what was right and make sure his people were straight. And our athletes now, they not jeopardizing their check. So Muhammad Ali was like, he wasn't even going to fight the Vietnam War. You know what I'm saying? I give up my title or whatever, but I'm not going to fight y'all war. Like he said, the Viet Cong people never did nothing to him, never called him.
They never did nothing against him.
Exactly. And his thing was, what was it worth for him to have all these riches and his people is still like struggling? Yeah.
And he came up during a time where they was teaching, teaching the black man God having knowledge of self. But also what was great during that time was unity. When he stood up and spoke his voice against the white man, it was a lot of black men everywhere speaking up like, nah, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing this. And so they had to shut him up.
And that's where they did. They locked him up. They said, let's find something. Get something on him. And we're going to show him.
Yeah. But you know what?
We're going to show him.
Day, he showed them because he didn't care about the foolishness and shadiness. He was still going to be a man of integrity when it came to certain things like that. I'm like you, Coach V. I'm like, yes, that's what I'm talking about. Have some kind of integrity about yourself. And, strength of will and mind. Sometimes I watch videos now just randomly. Yeah, they're great. They're great, and those are the lessons that our children need to see, because they're our hope of any type of shift in what could possibly happen. It would have to be your children realizing that it's the unity that we need, and because we can talk about it all day long, and the beautiful part about it is we do have these stories that we know about. We didn't read about this. We lived it. Like, I lived down the street from these things. You know, we went to these different places. We knew church was different at a certain point in time in history. You know, church wasn't about big business. Church was simply really, really about the community. And it was that place that the children went to after school, because that was the latchkey. It wasn't, oh, your parents need an extra $50 to put you in latchkey. It was like, no, go to the church and stay there until I get home from work. You know, and the church was going to take care of you. The mothers were there at the church, the nurses and the, you know, and the usher boys and the youth programs were there. Just like Grady talked about, the community of, you know, the rec centers. We had rec centers in every community. So then it's like you close that all down, and then what do your kids do? Oh, now, but see, this is where the kicker comes in. You had this beautiful thing called technology, the computers. So if we can then get them to believe that that's the new normal, they won't need that interaction. And I think that was another shift that happened real subtly, subtle. Think about it. Think about that shift and how it happened real subtle. And now you see people sitting out for dinner tables and not talking. They're on their computers. You see children having devices at the restaurants, and they're watching that instead of learning how to communicate. What do you think about that?
They, you know, it keeps them from learning their environment. So how can you react in your environment, you know, if you're disengaged, if you're like, you don't even have any kind of focus, you don't have social skills, you know, communication skills. Your parent not correcting you sometimes because you're not saying nothing to nobody because you're facing a screen.
Right. Right.
Exactly.
So
and even at dinner time,
revisiting the music. I personally noticed a shift in hip hop, the message in hip hop knowledge, when Luke and the 2 Live Crew challenged the Constitution for the freedom of speech, and they won. And that was kind of like a gift and a curse, because that kind of opened the door to say whatever, put it out, whatever. And they just ran with it.
They ran with that. Also, I think I said on the show before, Too Short his first song or album was positive. They told him we don't want to hear that. They want him to say the B word. And they say that song they play that song.
Yeah. And our young ladies just took it and use it as a term of endearment now. They refer to their own selves as B.
Hey, B. Oh, I'm a B. They be doing that Muppet Show talk.
I had to tell you, young lady, I ain't come up under that code. I don't play that. When you say that, we can fight.
No terms of endearment. If I call you that, it's no terms of endearment wrapped around me.
It's Vaseline time, huh?
One of my cousins, they heard our interaction on something, Wanda, and they said, and my cousin was like, I love how y'all call each other queen. And I was like, hey, that's what my sister is. Yeah. That's my sis. That's my sister. That's another queen. She is not a B.
Yeah. Because if we doing that, then it's not a good day. It's not a good day. I'm calling a posse, because I don't even fight. You know, I've never been a fighter. I've always been a lover, never a fighter. But
Fight.
but if I say a word like that, oh no, it's not.
Yeah. And then, if you think about it, because you said about women calling each other bees, but I'm also disturbed by the fact that Black men and Black women don't talk to each other respectfully. Every time you turn around, everybody bitter and at each other. And it's like, when are we going to have normal conversations? You know what, brother? I like what you're doing. Like, you don't have to be my man for me to give you a compliment about something, positive.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to be talking down, unless, look, if you doing your thing, brother, I'm going to be like, wow, that's great. Look at you. This crab in the girl mentality.
Yeah.
No, so
I
get out my
remember
face.
seeing
She
a
a
lot of
lame.
that in the 70s. You saw
Knowledge, tell
a
them how
lot
they talk to you. Knowledge,
Yeah.
you be trying to speak game to the modern, some of the modern
Say that
minds.
again.
I said, give us analogy of how like when you try to speak to a young lady that has a knowledge, you try to speak that knowledge to them, they look at you like you speaking a foreign language, or they say, "Got my face with that lame stuff."
Yeah. I was talking to this one sister. I was getting my car wash in Greenbrier Flea Market at the car wash in Atlanta, and the one, she saw my ring on my finger. She knew I was married, so I guess she's still doing her thing or whatever. She's trying to, and I started kicking knowledge. She said, "I ain't with that woke stuff. If you want to talk to me, I know you married." I said, "I ain't even trying to talk. I thought we just having a simple conversation." She said, "I don't want to do that woke stuff. I'm sick of you woke niggas." That's what she said. I was like, wow. I said,
Yeah.
I said, "So you don't want no brother?"
To her.
Huh?
What she wanted you to say to her?
I guess
she want to change the letters around.
Or something, I don't know. She was like, oh, she don't know woke nigga and all that stuff. Then she was like, she like, I'm sick of you woke niggas. Y'all think y'all guys, y'all ain't doing nothing. I told her, and I just broke a lot of stuff down to her and stuff like that. That girl hopped in her car.
It took off.
What you say?
You didn't give you the deuces.
She pulled out. She said,
"You don't want finger."
So, see, I get that all the time in the conscious community or whatever. One, I just try to keep my integrity. And I tell young men, don't be approaching a female, calling people bees and all that type of stuff. That's not, and I let them know we wasn't raised. That's not our culture. That's not our nature. You know what I'm saying? We protect.
Yeah,
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Because I don't know. I'm telling. Oh, hold on.
You out of pocket.
Ice cream.
Ice cream.
Wanda got ice cream along over there.
She got no ice cream. She out of pocket.
But yeah, and also knowledge. Do you gonna be stopped talking to?
No, go ahead.
But yeah, now there's a lot of times, when you're talking to young queens, they don't want to hear that. They used to that. Hey, this and that, like that urban type talk. They don't want to be educated. They just want to be lured and told what to do. Yeah. And I don't understand the young minds nowadays.
That must be the 40 and under crowd.
They got us entertained. Yeah. They got us with the drama, the love and hip hop. So it's
yeah.
I was just on Facebook the other day, and this one girl, she posted like at 12:03. She was like, "Yeah, it's the baddest birthday be today," and she just won a whole. She called herself like about 5 B's in her post. It's her birthday. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even click on her happy birthday. You know what I'm saying? We got to transition out, but we are doing it. We're doing a good job of transitioning because
we're slow. We just
want to see a lot more sisters in conscious areas like Atlanta, Philly, Chicago. We starting to get back to that college, Queens, and not just that though. I get a lot of sisters be like, "Peace, King, peace, God," and I say, "Peace, Queen." You know what I'm saying? That's just respect. That's nobody trying to have sexual intercourse. That's nobody trying to holler at you.
Just a respect.
Yeah.
And so with me, like, this month has always been a very, very special month to me. When we was in the studio, I will always celebrate because my show has always been on the first the first Sunday of the month. So I've always made a very special point to celebrate the love. I call February the love, the love month, and then we got Black History on top of that. But I've always had this super respect for my Black men because it was something that Senator Anderson talked about, being that you cannot have a strong Black community without recognizing the strong Black man. Because like you said, and this is where the women's liberation kind of messed us up. I know, don't fuss at me. Don't fuss at me.
Hey, Knowledge, get your $50 back, Knowledge. Get your $50 back.
But I've always been a lover of my Black brothers, always. And I guess it's because of the Black men in my family have always been those protectors, like my grandfather, my cousins. Like I had great cousins that looked after me, that looked after us. So it was like and I remember doing my first book signing in Detroit, and my friend has a club. Remember that, cousin? We was over there on James' cousin. So he and I think it was in the wintertime, he cleared the street. And this was a friend of mine. He cleared the street. He said, sis, when you come, you'll park right at the door. I'm going to come out and get you. He walked all my guests to the car. Like if the women came in before, remember, cousin? He said, hey, let me know when you're ready to leave. Him and his brother walked all of the ladies to the car. And this is just because of the culture that I grew up in. And it just has a lot to do with why I expect so much from our people. So I have this high expectation of my sister, of my brother, of my community. So no matter how much they try to tell us that we're not great, I'm gonna tell us that we are great. And I'm gonna remind us that, you know what, sis, I love you, because when I look at you, I see myself. I love my brothers because when I look at them, I see my uncles and my grandfather, and I see all of these beautiful men wrapped up in it. And yeah, there's some bums out here, just like there's some trifling female, but I look beyond that because I know that they're just tricked. They don't understand how great their power is. So holistically, I had one more topic that I wanted us to touch on, and that is how is this food influencing us? So Nurse V, you can start that off and then, kick it on over.
I found out a couple years ago, I was following this gentleman, and he was not what you call him, naturopath doctor. And what he said made a lot of sense. He said, if you're putting dead food into your body, then, you're going to get the depression. You're going to feel drained. You're going to get the negative thoughts, all of that. And it made sense opposed to putting live foods in your body. So our gut is definitely associated with our brain activities and what we think and the emotions and all that is connected. And this goes back to the old cliche, the saying, but it's very true. You are what you eat. So it's best to eat healthy and organic as possible so you can, think clear, vibrate at a higher level, and, just be in optimal health.
I definitely agree with that. And, even if you look at, say, for instance, with what's going on right now, say with the pandemic or any disorders and diseases, a lot of issues had to do with the immune system. Well, a lot of the things you need for your immune system is tied into like your plant-based foods with certain nutrients and stuff. So, organic and natural is so much better for us And a lot of times, though, we'll get wrapped into the symptoms of illnesses and stuff like that. We don't even try to change some of the stuff we eat. Like if you eat certain things, what does it really have in it that's going to actually do anything for you? And how is it going to absorb? Like you said, if it's dead, if it's processed, then how is it even really absorbing into your system for you to actually get what you need out of it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't believe that what they eat really affect their overall general health.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because your body's your intestines is a certain temperature, so you have dead meat in there just rotting in your intestines, and it knocks off your balance, your what you call it, probiotics, your biotics, and your bacteria in your bacteria in your intestines. That's why you see people bloated a lot.
And Nurse Z, you're into mental health, right?
Yes.
They wanted to say that. So what you eat affects your moods. Exactly. And if you think about the way animals are slaughtered and the turmoil that they're in before they're killed, and then they process the meat and everything. So I just believe that energy, when you eating that meat, you take on that energy of those animals, and when they prior to them being slaughtered.
I think about that.
That's just my own personal belief.
That's true. I believe it too, cousin.
I have a funny but true comment I like to make. Have you remember in grade school? This is for everybody. You remember in grade school, the kids be in line. The closer to that cafeteria, the closer to the food, the more active they get. They start dancing and stuff. You see them moving around and stuff. I don't know what it is. Food just make you happy, especially good food. You got pizza, cake, and stuff like that. You want to just dance and have a good time.
Well, you know what? And the reason why I bring up food is because, although we do, some of us don't eat meat or whatever, and your food journey is definitely your own food journey. But even thinking back in history, they didn't put all of these chemicals in food like they do now. So our food has really shifted, even from even trying to eat vegetables and stuff is still loaded with a lot of, preservatives and chemicals and stuff like that. So you just have to be very, very conscious. And then it's a matter of how you're vibing, like who you talking to, what kind of information, we talked about the music, but also like what movies, what cultural things are you watching? And then how are you balancing that out in nature? Getting out walking, because I remember when you first started back walking, and I was saying, Queen, you have to walk every day, because if you know that for your mental health, walking is a great benefit to that, then you do it just like you brush your teeth. This is something that you do every single day, and you have to do that. Yeah. So as we take care of self first, that's always going to align us with taking care of other people. And for our children watching us, they are watching what we do, not what we tell them to do, but what we do. It's just a beautiful thing when I can see y'all on Monday. Y'all make me happy.
That's what's up.
I know, right?
Hey, Grady, what G Clark at, man?
I don't know. He might be at the house working on some music or something. Doing something, working on some edits and photos.
We're gonna have to put us on his schedule for next Monday. And
yeah, he's just waiting on it. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and I just wanna let y'all know that how much I appreciate y'all for every contribution that you all make, every time that y'all bring y'all energy to this platform. Everything, every golden nugget that you drop down, because believe it or not, we are making an impact. Right. We are contributing to history. I titled it in an earlier session that we are Black history, because every time we do something, we're writing history.
Yes.
So we just have to be very aware of what we do, how we move, how we forgive, how we love, how we appreciate each other, how we expand on that, So, last final words. Anybody want to tell us what's going on, what's coming up next? So then, before we close out the call,
February the 20th is the day for the Vendor Expo,
okay.
4505 Forts Industrial Boulevard, Suite 4523 at Diversion Event Center. Everybody come on out. It's going down. We got DJ Grady Bay and Wanda gonna be in the building. I got two performers who gonna perform. So it's gonna be nice. We're gonna do what we gotta do and make sure everything flow has a smooth flow to it. So February the 20th, we're gonna start at I think at 4, from 4 to 8. 45
Okay.
23 4505 Forts Industrial Boulevard. Come down to Suite 4523, and that's at Diversion Events. And anybody want to contact me at 404-913-7165, 404-913-7165, and I will assist you in any questions that you have. And I want to thank everybody too. Last few years, I started off in this game in commerce before I actually started learning about my divinity and my lineage. So I came up through the ranks kind of hard. I know, kind of hard. Because I was going into court, challenging judges, making judges walk off the bench. They trying to figure out who this big head joker was coming in court, messing with them. And they weren't showing me no love. And I went backing down. And I was attacking them from everything that I read, everything that I had overstood as a black man. When I first learned that they speak a whole different language than what we spoke as a people, I said, hold up. I took a year off. I didn't do nothing. I read day and night. I pretty much took myself back to school, recreated myself again. Wow. This would be the second recreation that I did for myself. I wanted to learn words. I wanted to know what this government was doing. I want to know what was going on. And I'm saying thanks because I've been on a lot of people's platforms. A lot of people call me to come on their platform. I have been paid from coming on people's platforms and speaking knowledge and speaking truth about our people. And I have not been to school. And I have sat on many platforms with doctors and lawyers and some of the stuff I know they don't even know. But it is an honor and a pleasure, just even be on here and, just even, show my face and open up my mouth.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Demetria, you want to share anything?
Few things in the works. We still, of course, have our Wake Up Winning, no matter what, volume 2 book out. If anybody wants to buy that, I believe it's wakeupwinningvault2.com. You can buy from any of your co-authors. And I actually am releasing it's a poetry guided journal with my personal poetry in it called Winter's Prelude. It's going to be released tomorrow, February 2nd, which is my 54th birthday girl. And I was telling Wanda it's taken a lot of time for me to actually get to the point where I felt comfortable using my voice again and not feeling like, it was okay for me to be shut down, shut up, or anything like that. So when I met this lady right here, who's a catalyst and lights a fire up under you, say, what you gonna do? So doing a collaborative effort with our book and where they help walk you through it, help me start introducing. You'll see a lot more work from me. My pseudonym is actually Yvette D. Archer. So got that going on, and there's a lot. I said I'm a late bloomer, and that's it. The cork taking out the bottle now, so y'all gonna see me a few times.
Absolutely, I love it. Nurse V.
For my viewers that are here locally, if you're one that doesn't like taking supplements orally, or if you're not eating properly, getting your proper nutrients, you can come into the B12 store, which is located in Novi, Michigan, inside 12 Oaks Mall. I'm there every weekend. You can come. I give out B12 injections, vitamin D, vitamin C, zinc, biotin, magnesium, a couple other things. So that's an option to stay healthy.
I love it. I love it. Grady, you got anything you want to share?
Yeah, I'm gonna steal something from Nurse V. Every day you have to practice. Practice being the best you. You know what I mean? Like now let's say reinvent yourself, but just practice to be better. You know, just like you go trade your phone in for a better phone, you be a better person each and every day. You know, sometimes you let people down along the way, but as long as you know, own it, move on from it, and just practice being better. Make your next day your best day. That's all I
Make
have to say.
your next day your best day.
Wow.
I love it. I love it, Grady Taylor. Beautiful.
Yeah,
So
now
I
I'm putting
want
pressure on me.
I want to, yeah, don't take that pressure. So I want to talk about just a couple things that I'm doing. So every day I'm interviewing somebody at 12 o'clock, and we're focusing on Black history. So they're sharing how they're helping people win. They're sharing some of their stories in Black history and how it's influenced and impact them, and what what it means to them. It's 30 minutes at 12 o'clock noon, and I can't wait because I'm talking to some very, very, just some powerful conversations that we'll be having. And I'm doing this every day. So I made the commitment to do my part to try to raise the vibration as best I can through the things that I do, which I am media. And also we have a conference coming up March the 5th and 6th. We're doing a conference on the 5th, and then the expo on the 6th, a virtual expo. So for those of you that want to be a part of our virtual expo, please let me know, because we're looking for vendors. We're looking for people that want to sell their products online, talk about their products. Yep, I got you, Knowledge. So I'll send you out the details to that. And you can come in and have exposure to this global audience. The World Women's Conference and Awards is a global audience. It ranges over about, I think about 7 continents or so that we have influence. And you can get in front of several people that you wouldn't normally get in front of. So on Friday is the conference. We have a lot of things going on at the conference, from people talking about teaching you marketing. You're teaching a set on...
Yes, mine is about communication professionally and personally.
Personal. Okay, so you're doing that. We got quite a few people that's on board that's doing it. It's going to be very, very nice. So this is what I'm offering. If you go to bit.ly/3 Unleashing the Power, for the first 20 people that register, you'll receive a free gift from me. So that's from me personally, for the first 20 people that register using that link. And again, I'm going to give you that link. It's www.bit.ly/3 Unleashing the Power. So what you really need to know is bit.ly/3 Unleashing the Power. And come over there. First 20 people will receive a gift from me personal. So another side note is, I just want to remind people always that we have a voice, and we have to just open up our mouth and use our voice. We can't be, we have to stand in this unapologetic ground of using our voice. So if you know the truth, or the truth as you know it, have conversations. It might enlighten somebody. It may change somebody's trajectory. It might change their lifestyle around, because we're here and we're all we got. We are a community. Black folks, we are a community, and we have to not be swayed into thinking that we're something that we're not. We are community first. We always have been. And I thank God for my community every day. And I thank God for the way that we shift and we focus on each other and we help each other out. So that's all I want to say for you tonight. So I just want to say, everybody, thank you. Thank you, family, for coming in. Thank you, people, for watching. Please continue to like and share this information. Hit the thumbs up button and just pass the information along. And we'll see you next Monday, 9:00 Eastern Time. Peace.
Bye. Peace and love.
And so. I definitely saw.
Make the music, make the music, make the music with your make the music, make the music, make the music with your mind. Make the music, make the music with your mind.
Peace out, everybody.
Make the music.